went up to where the stairway was, and he said, "There's a fire, get out."
How a smoke detector made the difference when this local family's home went up in flames. Looking out for a new clue. How a truck could be the missing link in the death of a Gladstone woman. But first,
AC is great as long as it's working. If something goes wrong, it can be devastating.
casualties of the heat wave. The freak accident that killed dozens of dogs. First on Fox. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Wayne Garcia.
And I'm Shauna Parsons. First on Fox tonight, evidence that our heat wave is taking its toll. Tonight, a mom's in trouble with the law for leaving her kids in a parked car. A forest is up in flames, and crews are racing to get the upper hand. And nearly 36 dogs are dead after an air conditioner broke down. KPTV's Kevin Quarry begins our team coverage live in Northwest Portland. Kevin.
Right, and Shauna, investigators in that case actually called Dove Lewis Animal Hospital to get advice on how to treat the surviving dogs. And Dove Lewis is always warning people about the hot weather. In fact, they pass out these flyers, and experts tell me that dogs can actually suffer brain damage in just a matter of 15 minutes in these kinds of temperatures. The breeders in this case say they hope their tragedy is someone else's life-saving lesson.
Okay.
With this much land and this many dogs, it's a full-time job. And Mary Reppin and her husband took some time off this past weekend and got a horrifying phone call.
It said just tragedy, and that all these dogs were not moving, and she was in hysterics.
An employee went into this kennel Friday night and found 34 greyhounds dead. The Oregon Racing Commission investigated and says this air conditioner somehow broke, leaving the dogs with no ventilation on a day that reached 105. Rettman says that kind of problem never crossed their mind because when it was 102 last month, everything worked just fine.
We had everything in place that was in place in June when it got that hot, and we never expected anything like this to happen.
Investigators say the employee checked on the dogs around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, then followed the usual routine and didn't come back until 10.
But we were relying on that AC to work for us, and when it quit working, it was just devastating what happened.
Experts say temperatures inside can easily be 10 degrees higher than outside, and people at this Tiger Dog Park say it's a top priority, especially this summer.
I used to take him to work, and there was a parking structure, so he had shade, and it was right across the street. Well, during the wintertime, that was safe, but it's certainly not safe now.
We just make sure there's plenty of water, and that we don't leave them in a situation where they can't get cooled off if they need to.
Yeah. 18 dogs in the same kennel survived the heat, but one later died. Rettman says they will probably start using fans instead of air conditioning or a misting system, but nothing will change what they've lost.
They've all got personalities. They're all their own individual dog, and they're irreplaceable. They're part of our family.
Now, the Oregon Racing Commission is calling this a horrific accident, and they tell me they don't plan to file any charges against the breeders. The Clackamas County Sheriff's Office also tells me they too have no plans to investigate any further. Live in Northwest Portland tonight, Kevin Quarry, the 10 o'clock news.
A mother accused of leaving her small children in a car during our heat wave is speaking out. Christine Lemley says that she ran into the Target store to pick up some sunscreen. In an interview with our news partner KXL Radio on the Lars Larson Show, she says that after arguing with her 6- and 9-year-old sons, she let them stay in the car with the windows rolled down and a cooler with water in the back. When she didn't return for several minutes, police arrested her for reckless endangerment. She says the officer who arrested her didn't know the whole situation.
He hears a little bit of the story. He hadn't even talked to me. He heard a little bit of the story, and he's grabbing my arm, yanking it, and telling me to put my purse on his car. And I said, why? He goes, because you're going to jail. You're too cavalier about it. And he's like, we have records to prove you've been in there for 40 minutes. What kind of mother are you?
Medics checked Lemley's children at the scene and said the heat didn't cause any medical issues. Police say that car was parked in full sun and the temperature outside at the time was 96 degrees. Lemley could face a year in jail for the reckless endangerment charge.
Tonight, police in Albany are investigating the death of a toddler. The 16-month-old girl drowned on Friday at a home in the 3600 block of Southeast Tudor Way. She was staying with a relative while her parents were at work. The girl drowned in a pool that had just 2 feet of water. Well, the heat wave is making it tough for firefighters in Central Oregon. Tonight, they're battling at least 3 wildfires. One of them, the Black Crater Fire, is burning about 9 miles west of the town of Sisters. KPTV's David Wilson joins us now live with more on the forest fires. Dave?
Yeah, investigators have confirmed tonight that a lightning strike caused that fire. The blaze is still relatively small, only about 70 acres, but it's burning in the Three Sisters Wilderness area. Fire officials are concerned because this area has lots of dead and dying trees for fuel, as well as large stands of healthy pine trees. There are also two other fires worth mentioning in Central Oregon tonight. One is called the Maxwell Fire. It's about 300 acres and burning near the town of Mitchell. It, too, stands on dead and dying trees and burning in the Bridge Creek Wilderness area. And then there is the Geneva 3 Fire. It's burning mainly sagebrush and grass in the Crooked River National Grasslands area, about a mile and a half west of the Deschutes River. So far, the Geneva 3 has consumed about 400 acres. There are dozens of firefighters working tonight trying to get these fires under control, with more crews on the way. But fire officials say they've been a little short on manpower because tonight there are fires burning all across the West, taxing resources. David Wilson, the 10 o'clock news.
And indeed, there are 4 other major fires burning tonight in Oregon. The largest is the Happy Valley Fire. It's located about 15 miles north of Burns Junction. It's nearly 37,000 acres in size, and at last report, fire crews had 0 containment. The Diamond Craters Fire is burning near Buena Vista, Oregon. It is about 4,500 acres, but crews have that fire 90% contained. The Jack Mountain Fire near French Glens burned about 1,500 acres, and it's 50% contained. And finally, the Jug Fire near the town of Highway Wells is at 2,000 acres and right now stands at 90% contained tonight.
Today, the DEQ lifted an air pollution advisory that's been in effect since Friday. Low wind speed, along with high humidity and emissions, contributed to our area's worst air quality in years. Smog levels peaked Friday evening as Portland exceeded the 8-hour standard for air pollution for the first time since 2002. Portland's bad air spiked into the unhealthy range, which can trigger asthma attacks and aggravate lung and heart problems.
It was a balmy weekend and even a steamy return to work today.
Yeah, no kidding, Mark. This heat wave feels like it's just been with us forever.
The good news, though, is it's pretty much done. Not today. You're right. It started steamy today. 97 in Portland. That was the high temperature. It's almost like we get used to it after a few days. 100 in Hillsborough and 101 in McMinnville. But do you feel it this evening, that northwesterly breeze coming in? It's cooling down quickly. We are in the 70s, and more important, the humidity completely gone. Our dew point up, maybe the highest ever in Portland on Saturday, came down this morning. Now it's beginning to cool off. Take a look at our live radar at this hour. Nothing showing up here, but down to the southeast, thunderstorms still in progress in far southeast Oregon in this very dry area, probably setting off more fires. We'll talk about the chance for thunder coming up for the east side, and our big cool down continues, and we'll look at the chance for showers as we head into next weekend, the last weekend of July. That's coming up in my first live and local forecast.
And stay with Fox 12 for continuing coverage of this heat wave. We'll have your complete first live local forecast coming up, and you'll also find tips to beat the heat on our website, kptv.com.
The brother of a Gladstone woman killed last week is speaking out tonight. Roommates found the body of Megan Cole on Friday in her apartment on West Arlington. And tonight, we're learning more about Megan Cole's past and the clue cops hope will help them crack the case. KPTV's Stephanie Karlovich is live in Gladstone to explain. Steph?
Detectives are looking for a white 1999 Ford F-350 pickup truck like this one. They say Megan had borrowed the truck, but it was missing from her apartment when her roommates found her body here Friday afternoon. Now, detectives are still being tight-lipped about the case. They say it's obvious Megan Cole's death was violent. However, they won't say exactly how she was murdered. Tonight, Cole's brother spoke with us about his sister. He says she loved horses and was a generous person who always put other people first. But during the past several months, Zach says he and his parents noticed changes in Megan's appearance and in her mannerisms. He says the family suspected she'd had a problem with drugs. Last month, cops arrested Megan on meth and cocaine charges, but Zach says since then, his sister seemed to be getting better.
The last few weeks, though, she was good. She was happy. I think she was trying to get out of it. I think that might have been a problem.
Now here is a closer look at the pickup truck detectives are looking for. It has Oregon plates, Camp TG, a slight lift, chrome wheels, and a diamond plate toolbox in the truck bed. If you see it, you are asked to call police. And a side note, Megan Cole was the daughter of Washington County Judge Thomas Cole. Now coming up tonight on the 11 o'clock news, we'll hear much more from Megan's brother, Zach Cole. Reporting live in Gladstone tonight, Stephanie Karlovich, the 10 o'clock news.
Police in Hood River are hoping a sketch of tonight's Fox 12's Most Wanted will help them catch their man. A woman says the man offered her a ride home last month, but ended up pulling up to a side of a road and raping her. She managed to get away. The woman says the attacker was driving a small blue older model car. Police believe that he lives in Hood River County. If you know anything about the case, please call Hood River Police.
The 10 o'clock news is just getting started.
It's a story you'll see only on 12.
The good guys won today, for once.
How cops say they caught this man red-handed stealing metal from a local farm.
Real teens turning to gangs.
We've seen them as young as 13.
Coming up, the warning signs every parent needs to know to keep their kids out of trouble.
Toxic water flowing in our rivers.
You couldn't pay me $100 to take one drink out of the Columbia on kind of pollution.
Are you part of the problem? How prescription drugs are polluting Northwest waterways.
Armed robbers using Craigslist to find victims. A warning you need to hear before listing or buying an item for sale online.
And the stars of Brokeback Mountain are in line for two of the biggest projects in Tinseltown. We have the scoop in the Hollywood Buzz.
You're watching the 10 o'clock news. First, live, local.
Live pictures this morning over Canby, where a two-alarm house fire is burning right now.
Gives you an idea just how serious this fire was.
First, live and local with breaking news. Good Day, Oregon, tomorrow at 5.
Hi, Leo Hillier and Diesel. Diesel wants to help with our year-end model clearance sale by taking you for a test drive. Now, Diesel, that's what I'm talking about. This is not a toy. Want to do it again? Diesel's demo? Maybe not. Remember, all Fords are created equal. Hillier's Mid-City Ford makes a difference. Diesel and I invite you to come see why today.
It's a touchdown, an interception, a 90-yard run. It's football. And now you can get even closer to the game with a Quest football bundle. You get more excitement, more insight, and more ways to share it all. Join the celebration. Call 1-877-6-GO-LONG and get your Quest football bundle today. It's one more way Quest brings more life into your life. That's our spirit of service.
Just because you dropped it doesn't mean you can't eat it. How a new study is changing the 5-second rule, coming up on the 10 o'clock news. First, live, local.
What is Columbia Credit Union's Year of the Member? Is it local, honest people offering straightforward rates and terms on home equity lines and loans? But isn't it also lunchtime reenactments of the fall of the Ming Dynasty? Or not? Open to anyone who lives or works in Southwest Washington.
Building the fastest car in its class doesn't mean leaving intelligence, beauty, and control behind. The 2006 306 horsepower IS from Lexus. At Lexus of Portland.
All summer long, catch 2 hours of House back-to-back. Fox Tuesday. Even if you think you've seen it all, nothing could prepare you for this.
What are we looking for?
That.
Oh my God.
House, 2 full hours.
Tuesday at 8 on Fox 12 Oregon.
Tonight, firefighters think they know what started a fire in Canby that burned a house to the ground. The family inside escaped, including a 90-year-old woman and a man in a wheelchair. KPTV's Carrie Tomlinson reports.
Firefighters say the cause was probably electrical, something in the attic, but they report without a smoke alarm, this family would never have known until it was too late. They got out in seconds. They had to.
It happened very fast.
The Stone family heard the smoke alarm at about 5 a.m.
My husband went up to where the stairway was, and he said, "There's a fire, get out."
So I looked out my window and flames were just shooting.
Neighbors knew the family might need extra help.
Exactly. We were worried about the guy in the wheelchair, because it takes a lot to get him up and out of the bed and everything. So, yep.
The guy in the wheelchair is the family's 36-year-old son. Their 90-year-old mother was also inside. and the flames were fast and furious.
Hot! I had to back up. It was so hot. Hotter than yesterday.
They made it out alive. Firefighters poured foam on the flames to keep them from jumping again in the heat.
It is a new house.
The fire that started in the attic is finally out. The division chief takes us in to see the son's bedroom and the hide-a-bed where an aunt and uncle were sleeping.
The fire was clearly burning overhead as they slept, and if it wasn't for that smoke alarm, they would have never been alerted, and you can see what kind of devastation occurred just minutes after they escaped.
We'll make it. The family is optimistic, though they've lost expensive equipment in this special home built to handle their son's wheelchair. Their friends and neighbors are glad to help.
And it's just incredibly important that we get together and do what is appropriate for good neighbors, and they're wonderful neighbors.
Neighbors have started a fund for the family, and we have details on that on our website, kptv.com. Carrie Tomlinson, the 10 o'clock news.
An early morning ammonia leak in Salem sent one person to the hospital and shut down traffic in the area for more than an hour. Salem firefighters were called to the Deluxe Ice Cream Company at 19th and State Street around 5:45 this morning. They stopped the leak about 45 minutes later. Ammonia is used as a coolant in the company's refrigeration system. Investigators are searching the charred remains of a barn in Clackamas County. Firefighters responded to a two-alarm fire at the 19,000 block of South Poland Drive this morning and found that barn completely engulfed in flames. Conditions for fire crews were hazardous as well. There were propane tanks stored inside the barn. Some exploded and rocketed nearly 80 feet into the air. No one was injured, and firefighters were able to stop that fire from spreading to any other buildings.
Only on 12, a thief would have to get up really early in the morning to steal from a farmer, but one in Washington County didn't. And as KPTV's Jim Hyde shows us, that suspect was caught red-handed.
There was a pickup parked right here, right next to the pipe. And I noticed all the risers were in back of the pickup. So I thought that was odd.
John Bernard stores his irrigation equipment in this barn just north of Highway 26 and farms acreage south of it along Mountaindale Road. Even at 5:30 this morning, he knew his sprinkler heads didn't belong in a strange truck. He wrote down the license number and called 911.
And I come back and I'm like, the pickup's gone, so he's got to be in the barn there. But he just drove down in there and was probably waiting for me to leave.
But help was on the way.
When the deputy showed up, he took off and cornered himself down in the field down here.
After deciding to steal, escape route was the suspect's next mistake, not taking a right from the tunnel onto Highway 26.
He hit that about 45, 50 miles an hour, as near as I could tell.
This flattened pipe costs about $100 a length. Thieves usually take the aluminum pieces right out of the fields.
They just uncouple like that. But see, those valves and stuff, see, that's what they really look for, because it's real easy and compact.
The thief has a felony load of it in his pickup, so he ditches the truck and jumps in the creek. That's where deputies and a Hillsborough police dog nab him.
He was tucked under a log just down in the creek there.
Bernards had enlisted his son to help and notify the neighbors.
I called him, and because they got irrigation pipe out there, I said, you might want to check your pipe, and we were going over there looking if we could find the guy, and he said, well, they already got us earlier in the week, so.
Bernard says Oregon farmers have been fighting this problem for years. Theft from their fields sold for scrap metal.
The good guys won today, for once.
The sheriff's deputies identified the suspect as Andrew Lee Stallings. They say the police dog bit him on the ear. Reporting in News Control, Jim Hyde, the 10 o'clock news.
An elevator at the Oregon Zoo's Max stop is still out of service tonight following a malfunction that trapped two teenagers. TriMet released video today of the teens from a camera in the elevator. You can see firefighters attaching them to ropes to pull them out. The 16-year-old boy and 13-year-old girl were stuck in that elevator for nearly an hour. They were able to talk to their parents and rescue crews through an intercom system. The elevator will stay closed until investigators find out what caused the problem. The three other elevators still work.
A car trying to make a dangerous pass may be to blame for a deadly accident in Hillsborough. It happened on Northwest Jackson School Road. Deputies say two cars were traveling southbound when one decided to pass illegally. It hit a car heading in the opposite direction, then burst into flames. Tonight, police say the driver of the car that caused the crash is Estanislao Leon Campos. He went to the hospital, but his brother Alonzo, who was also in the car, did not survive.
A Marine with ties to Oregon is the latest casualty in the war in Iraq. Captain Christopher Pate died Friday in combat in the Anbar province in Iraq. Captain Pate attended Aloha High School and Five Oaks Middle School. His family used to live in Beaverton but has since moved. Captain Pate was based at Camp Lejeune in North Carolina, and he was 29 years old.
Coming up, would you be able to tell if your son or daughter was involved with a gang?
Well, in tonight's Real Teen Report, we will show you the warning signs that you need to watch out for.
Plus, putting the 5-second rule to the test, the science behind what's safe to eat after you drop it on the ground.
And what do jock itch and marijuana have in common? Plenty if you're a Portlander. We'll explain, and the Google connection. That's ahead in the final cut.
And luckily, things cooling down now. The moisture kind of disappearing there. Clear cooler, 77 degrees. That's pretty comfortable compared to the last few nights. Take a look live outside from way up on our tower cam at 1,800 feet. It's shaking a little bit. That's that cooler air moving in. Will we see clouds the next few days or any chance for rain? We'll let you know coming up in the first live and local forecast.
You're watching the 10 o'clock news. First, live, local.
The Saturn Vue, with an estimated 29 miles per gallon highway and the highest crash test ratings. And the Saturn Ion, with a 5-star frontal crash safety rating and an estimated 35 miles per gallon highway. The 2006 Saturn Ion and the 2006 Saturn Vue. Great times, great timing. Now get 10% off the purchase of any new 2006 Saturn vehicle at the Saturn Summer Sales Event.
When glass gets mixed in with other recyclables, it can cause all sorts of problems. And no self-respecting recyclable wants to be labeled a troublemaker.
Still tonight, see what makes the Fox 12 final cut.
Finding victims on Craigslist. You might be surprised by what some sellers were scheming when buyers met them to pay.
Plus, before you build a fence, you'll want to see why one family's barrier became a neighborhood battle.
And we'll tell you why ordering one shot of this tequila may put you in serious debt.
These stories and much more tonight on the Fox 12 Final Cut.
Life says it's the perfect time to enjoy all the fruits of summer. Especially at Safeway, where the fruit isn't just picked, it's chosen. All of it inspected 5 times from the field to the store to be guaranteed fresh, ripe, and delicious. As the fruits of summer should be. Safeway, ingredients for life.
This segment of the 10 o'clock news is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers.
This is the Toyota Tundra. Of all full-size pickups, it has the lowest fuel cost, the lowest operating cost, the lowest cost of ownership, and the lowest depreciation. So it makes sense that of all full-size pickups, IntelliChoice named this best overall value. Now, I had a lot of heart for my old truck, but lately, just prefer to use my head.
Now get $2,000 customer cash on a new Tundra. Toyota, a smart way to keep moving forward.
In tonight's Real Teen, the real story about gangs and how you can tell if your teen is in one.
We've seen them as young as 13.
I asked to be pulled out of school because of it.
Local teens we talked to say gangs are a big problem, and cops agree. They say during the summer, gang activity goes up. In fact, Washington County's interagency gang team says 150 people have joined gangs just this year. So that's why they want parents to know about these warning signs, indicators that your teen may be in a gang. They are a sudden drop in grades, new secretive friends, and an increase in money. Deputies tell us there is help, such as counseling, available for parents, but they say that the best way to take care of your teen is to know where they are. The Washington County Sheriff's Office is hosting a town hall meeting tomorrow to discuss gangs and their impact on the community. It's at 7 o'clock tomorrow night at the Reedville Presbyterian Church. That's on Southwest 209th Avenue in Aloha.
Are you inviting criminals into your home? They may be some of the people you trust the most. Nicole Taylor Williams hired a nanny to look after her baby for just a few hours while she had chemotherapy. Well, that nanny, 24-year-old Nicole Eldridge, has pleaded guilty to stealing thousands of dollars in jewelry from her clients.
She knew what the situation was with why we were gone for the day, and yeah, that's just not a very nice person to do something like that.
Tomorrow night at 10, the Fox 12 investigators uncover crime that could be happening right under your nose. We also talk to a Northwest business that's helping people keep an eye on what's going on in their home while they're away.
Luckily, it looks like thunderstorms pretty much finished across the area, but we have another warm night on the way, but not nearly as warm as the last three. We've broken 3 records in a row last night, only 72 degrees. It's going to be the updated forecast coming up.
Dumping your drugs down the drain. So where do they go when you give that toilet a flush? The Fox 12 investigators will show you how those drugs could be coming back into your home next.
Plus, buying or selling on Craigslist. Tonight, we have a warning for you how to avoid violent criminals when using the popular classified site.
And we'll see if it runs in the family, why Nicole Richie might want to take some career advice from dear old dad. That's coming up in the final cut.
You're watching the 10 o'clock news. First, live, local.
Looking for a great local job? Here are a few Northwest jobs from Fox 12 Oregon, powered by JobDango.com. Radisys has an immediate opening for an image design engineer, position located in Dawson Creek. Wells Fargo Collections is hiring collectors, positions located in Beaverton. And Comcast is currently hiring cable installers, positions located in Portland. For details on these local jobs and thousands more, or to advertise your jobs, go to KPTV.com and click on Northwest Jobs at the left side of our homepage.
Dear Dr. Z, my class is learning about the environment. What are you doing to help?
Well, class, this Jeep Liberty diesel gets 26 highway miles per gallon. And we're building a flex fuel Commander and Grand Cherokee. Plus, coming soon, the world's cleanest diesel. They're our cleanest 4x4s ever.
It's a joke.
Is that mustache real?
It's back. Employee pricing plus up to $2,000 cash allowance. Get our employee price on most 2006 Jeep vehicles.
Had it with slow downloads? With Comcast high-speed internet, there's no waiting for downloads or a great deal. Call 1-800-COMCAST and save big during our $1 sale. Get 1 month of blazing fast Comcast high-speed internet service for just $1. Free modem lease for 1 full year and professional installation for only $10. Save over $175. Hurry, the $1 sale ends August 7th. So call 1-800-COMCAST today.
You may make a healthy lunch, but is your child's lunchbox making them sick? Why the FDA is concerned. Just ahead on the 10 o'clock news. First, live, local.
Some things are so wonderful, you just want 5. Like shrimp 5 ways, Monday through Saturday nights at Hometown Buffet. Golden popcorn shrimp, enticing shrimp scampi, crunchy coconut shrimp, and more, all for one low price. Only at Hometown Buffet.
This Wednesday at Mervyn's, get everything you want because it's the Everything is on Sale sale. Save on everything you need for everyone in your family with 50 to 60% off tees, tanks, polos, shorts, and sandals. 40 to 50% off all juniors LMNO clothing. 40 to 60% off young men's brands. And 40 to 50% off bedding, bath, and kitchen electrics. And don't miss the store-wide clearance at an amazing 75% off original prices. The Everything is on Sale sale. Wednesday only at Mervyn's.
Because Daddy never hugged me. Because Daddy never hugged me. Because Daddy never hugged me. Because the more guys notice me, the more I love myself. Because I make more money than you. Because I'm compensating for my shortcomings. Because I'm compensating for my shortcomings.
The Volkswagen Passat. Lowest ego emissions of any German-engineered sedan.
Right now, get 0% financing on all 2006 Volkswagen models, excluding Rabbit and TDI models.
There's nothing like the taste of Taco Del Mar. Sometimes you're hungry enough for a Mondo burrito. Other times, it's enchiladas or tacos. Life is good when you have your friends and Taco Del Mar.
Taste fulfilled. Tonight, the Fox 12 investigators look into exactly where the drugs you flush down the toilet end up.
Northwest scientists don't yet know how prevalent drugs like antihistamines, antibiotics, or birth control pills are in the Willamette and Columbia rivers, but they're trying to figure out what the drugs could mean for fish, the environment, as well as you and me. KPTV's David Wilson has more.
When I used to drink out of the Columbia River during slalom days with no fear.
Decades ago, Jay Mintorn, an elder with the Umatilla tribe, used to stand in the Columbia River's mist at Chilalo Falls and salmon fish. When thirsty, he drank the river's water right out of a bucket.
But today, You couldn't pay me $100 to take one drink out of the Columbia on kind of pollution.
Of course, Minthorn's fears are well-founded. Scientific studies have shown concentrations of PCBs, pesticides, and toxins from oil and combustion in the river and fish. And tonight, new federal studies are underway as researchers look for the presence of pharmaceuticals left over from human beings in agriculture.
We don't know that much about these new compounds, like these antibiotics and pharmaceuticals, and what they might do.
So far, scientists with the National Marine Fisheries say they found evidence that juvenile salmon may be exposed to too much estrogen, possibly from birth control pills, hormone replacement therapies, as well as plastics and detergents. The scientists have also found high concentrations of fire retardants in the stomach contents of fish.
I think there's not a lot really known about the effects that they might be having on the fish.
Researchers say the agency studying water quality have found antihistamines, sunscreens, cosmetics, and possibly antibiotics in the river. But so far, no one can say if these compounds are in high enough concentrations to critically affect fish and, in turn, the people who eat them.
You know, it might encourage more and more development of antibiotic-resistant bacteria, things like that.
Researchers know that the toxins from pollutants are often stored in the fatty tissues of fish. But people who fish say that doesn't frighten them.
I kind of think of it like, I don't know, if you look at everything, there's always going to be something in everything that you eat or whatever.
It hasn't killed me yet. I'm still alive, and I eat it anywhere from 3 to 4 times a week.
Salmon?
Salmon, steelhead, sturgeon, and catfish.
Jay Minthorn says tribal people will also continue to eat salmon, as they have for generations.
It's always a meal that the tribal people will never forget.
In Portland, David Wilson, the 10 o'clock news.
Scientists are also looking for evidence of cholesterol-lowering drugs in the rivers, which in high enough concentrations could even affect the metabolism of fish. Now, we will not find out the full results of those studies until this September.
Live from Fox 12 Oregon, this is breaking news.
And we are following some breaking news tonight. We have just learned of 2 missing kids in Clatsop County. Authorities are searching a wooded area east of Astoria for the children who are both under the age of 6.
We are told that 3 kids went out to play around 10:30 this morning. One of those kids came back about 4 hours later. The other 2 have not been seen since. Again, this is happening near State Highway 202 east of Astoria. We're going to keep on this story and hopefully have an update for you later in this newscast.
Mark, so now with the check of the forecast, and boy, we're just getting sick of the heat now, Mark.
It's
we're
gone.
ready for our Portland summer to come back.
The good news is it's gone, but
Okay.
What a heat wave. You know, a week ago I sat here and I said we could have a historical heat wave, then we kind of backed off and said, yeah, it's going to be hot, but a whole bunch of things added up to make it in our weather minds. When we look back, we'll say, wow, that was a heck of a heat wave. Take a look at this. First of all, of course, on Friday, we had the temperature 104 degrees here in Portland. That was our warmest since 1988. We know about that. And then the next morning, with the cloud cover, the perfect night for keeping it hot, the warmest night since World War II here in Portland. It's tied for the warmest. And then, of course, this one you say, Mark, I couldn't really care less about the dew point, to be honest, among friends. But possibly the highest dew point here in Portland, that means the most humid air mass we may have ever had here in Portland. I'm checking on that, but wow, that was sweaty. But that's all gone now. Take a look live out into our river camera downtown. The wind is blowing in from the northwest. That has been bringing in cooler air, but also less humid air. The humidity completely gone tonight. We're done with that. It's 77 here in Portland at this hour. And in fact, a little cooler in Scappoose, 75, 72 in McMinnville, and we'll drop into the 60s pretty quickly here within the next few hours. There's a good reason for that. We're finally getting what we call a marine push. That's that cool ocean air. It's been sitting out at the beaches all weekend long. Now it's making its surge inland pretty strongly. It's been coming up the river. By tomorrow morning, the whole valley below about 2,000 feet stuck in cooler air. No clouds. The marine air not thick enough to give us cloud cover, but it will really cool us down over the next 24 hours. And that's nice because, once again, 97 in Portland today. Salem, you folks, 101 again. 100 in Eugene. East side, it'll take a couple more days for you folks to cool down, but you will eventually make it into the 80s coming up at the end of the week. It's cooler down the valley. Notice Kelso always in the line with that marine air coming right up from Astoria. 68 degrees, very comfortable there, but still 94 at the Dalles with the strong west wind blowing. Even the Dalles, you won't get much above that for tomorrow. 2 things to notice on the satellite picture. One is our big hot ridge that was over us over the weekend. It has moved to the south. With it, it also takes the circulation of thunderstorm moisture mainly into far southeast Oregon. So we're done with the thunderstorms pretty much for now. And a bit of a westerly flow developing to the north. These weather systems move by. They tend to help to drag in that ocean air. So we'll cool off quite a bit tomorrow. and it looks pretty nice. Also, I want to point out, some of you have friends or family maybe in Hawaii. Hurricane Daniel, we don't often get hurricanes in the East Pacific that move towards the Hawaiian Islands, but this one is forecast by the Central Pacific Hurricane Center to approach the big island of Hawaii here in the next few days. Maybe it's a tropical storm. Intensity forecast, always tough, but here's the forecast in just 3 days. Actually just east of the main Hawaiian island, about to move on to that. So we'll be watching that pretty closely. Back here in the northwest, you see what's going on here. The cloud rain forecast, no thunderstorms, but your eyes are kind of drawn out here. That's that marine layer that'll be stuck along the coastline. That'll keep us comfortable the next few days. And the clouds return to the coast as well. So the details look like this. 66 at Tillamook tomorrow, 62 at Newport. A mixture of clouds, cooler conditions, and some fog and some sun as well. In the valley, cooler but still warm. By that I mean, of course, instead of 100, it'll drop 10 degrees. That's cooler, but still temperatures upper 80s to right around 90. East of the Cascades, still hot. No change over there. I put in a chance for a thunderstorm maybe out towards Burns. That should be it. 98 in La Grande. And in the Cascades, sunny, a little bit cooler. Timberline Lodge, 70 degrees. That's still very warm for Timberline. And your first live and local forecast here in town. Sunny and cooler, but still warm. 62 to start with in the morning. 87 in the afternoon. That's pretty comfortable, isn't it, after almost 20 degrees warmer on Friday. 91 in Hillsborough tomorrow. The west side of town, the Tualatin Valley, still getting up right around 90. East side of town, a bit cooler, 86 at Gresham and 84 at Sandy. Then we stay near or just below 90 Wednesday and Thursday, then much cooler and dry coming up this weekend. Looks very good for the Watermelon Festival in Oregon and the Washington County Fair in Hillsborough as well. Of course, don't forget you can go to kptv.com and get your Les Schwab Tires instant desktop weather, and Andy has the latest tomorrow morning at 5.
In tonight's Final Cut, what are the chances as a woman is murdered in the same spot on the same date as her brother 4 years earlier? And wait until you hear what brought her there. What are the chances someone could be stung by killer bees more than 1,000 times and survive? We've got the details. And what are the chances someone would actually buy a bottle of tequila priced at $250,000 and it doesn't even include lime and salt? This is the 10 o'clock news first, live, local.
Dear Dr. Z, is there really German technology in my Chrysler 300C?
John, every Chrysler uses the best of American and German engineering and design. This 5-link rear suspension is only one example. They add small links for better performance and handling.
Cool.
What would you expect? We invented the automobile. Auf Wiedersehen.
It's back. Employee pricing plus our 30-day return program. Get our employee price on most 2006 Chrysler vehicles.
Right. But a talking gecko, why?
I'll tell you why. Because people trust advertising icons. Some bloke tells you to go to geico.com and you're like, really? And just who might you be? But a gecko, he can be trusted. I ask if you want to save hundreds on car insurance, and you're like, yes, thank you. Mind babysitting my kids? And I'm like, of course I'll sit with the kids. You're like a brother to me.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Our commitment is to be everything to everyone looking for a good night's sleep.
We have the best prices from entry level to ultra luxury.
Inner springs, foam, air beds, latex, memory foam, or adjustable beds, no one beats our price, quality, service, or selection.
We challenge any dealer, anytime. Mattress World's hard-to-find locations will save you money.
It's not too late to sleep like a baby. Mattress World.
We can't beat any price on any comparable mattress, and the mattress is free.
Following in Paris's footsteps, why some may call Nicole Richie a superstar copycat, plus everything else you need to know tonight on the Fox 12 Final Cut.
I want to stop all violence. You don't give up, but you still try.
The whole Start Something program basically envelops what we did throughout my entire upbringing. How to give back, how to mentor.
It doesn't have to be, changing the world. If everybody just does a little bit, then it will change.
That's what the Start Something program is all about. You guys are all proof of it, and it's pretty cool to see that.
It's so much fun to help out others and make an impact, even when I'm still, only 15.
It's amazing what can happen.
Shh. Something's coming.
What?
Listen and learn. Turbocharged, direct injected, electroluminescent gauges. Sports car.
Introducing the SUV you never saw coming. The all-new Mazda CX-7. Like every Mazda, it all comes back to
by the Final Cut in 3, 2, 1, cue 'em.
And the Final Cut starts with news from across America and the search for the suspects in an armed carjacking. Investigators say 2 men stole a car at gunpoint today. A deputy spotted that car, started chasing it. The men ended up running into a home. Moments later, a group of people, including 2 children, ran from that home. Deputies say one of the men was a suspect, so they took him into custody. However, that other suspect was able to get away. People in Boston are talking tonight about a cruel coincidence. Someone shot and killed a woman on Saturday, and it happened on the same date and in the same spot where her brother was murdered 4 years ago. The woman, in fact, was at a makeshift memorial for her brother when she was shot in the head. Police are now looking for her killer. A power outage in California may have turned deadly. A nursing home had to evacuate its senior citizens yesterday after their air conditioning went out. One person died and another is in critical condition. Investigators are now trying to find out whether that nursing home waited too long to evacuate. Owners could face neglect charges if an autopsy finds that the victim died from the heat. An Ohio couple is accused of luring would-be sex predators online and then blackmailing them. Investigators say the couple would arrange to meet the would-be sex predators, rob them, and then take their pictures, saying that they would expose them if they went to cops. The couple says the sex stings were meant to help police catch the bad guys, but police aren't buying it. The 2 could face up to 5 years in prison, and the men they lured could face charges as well.
The Final Cut goes to Houston now, where jurors are deciding the fate of Andrea Yates. Her lawyer ended arguments today by saying that Yates was insane when she drowned her 5 children in a bathtub. Prosecutors say the murders back in June of 2001 were well thought out. This is Yates' second trial. She was found guilty of murder in 2002, but an appeals court tossed out the ruling because one of the witnesses for the prosecution gave some false testimony. Paramedics in Florida are warning people tonight to watch out for killer bees. A man there is recovering after he was stung more than 1,000 times by Africanized honeybees. While he was mowing a lawn, the bees came from a crack in the wall of a nearby building. Killer bees tend to be more aggressive than regular honeybees. A Florida teen is thanking TV for helping him avoid being eaten by an alligator. Corey Workman was dangling his feet in a river when an alligator bit down on his ankle and tried to drag him into the water. Well, the teen tried a technique he saw on a wildlife program. He punched the gator in its eye and then its jaws opened. Trappers eventually captured that alligator, and the teen is expected to make a full recovery. Wayward golf balls are causing trouble for a North Texas family. They live right next to a golf course, and the balls keep hitting their house. So to stop it, the Darvish family initially put up a 35-foot net. But then, check that out, they added another 15 feet. But neighbors are not happy with the way it looks.
Every time we hear someone tee off, we all kind of look around. And a ball went right past his left ear, I would say about 1.5, 2 inches.
The views are the reason we bought this house and why many of the people here bought their homes. They bought it for the view. And if your view is obstructed or changes, it affects your value.
Well, the city has declared the net a fence and says it cannot be higher than 8 feet tall. Both sides will face off at the next City Hall meeting.
The U.S. Secretary of State is in Israel tonight trying to defuse the Middle East crisis. Condoleezza Rice was in Lebanon earlier today, where leaders asked her to work on an immediate ceasefire. But Rice says the region needs a more lasting peace deal that requires the area to adopt a more democratic way of doing things. Meanwhile, Israel is asking for the end of the rebel group Hezbollah. Israeli leaders also want the group to release 2 soldiers who were kidnapped nearly 2 weeks ago. The 2 sides have been attacking each other ever since. And just about an hour ago, Israel fired a missile at a house in Lebanon, killing 7 people. Now to news around the world tonight, where a mudslide kills 12 people in a Pakistani village. The swift-moving mud wiped out 7 members of one family. And this is just the latest natural disaster to hit that area. Back in October, an earthquake killed more than 75,000 people. 3 million became homeless, living in tents since that time. Well, here's a shot of tequila that you should savor, not slam down. At $225,000 a bottle, the makers of Tequila Ley recommend that you drink this tequila only in small sips. After aging it for 6 years, its makers hope to break the Guinness record for most expensive bottle in the world. Tequila Ley plans to make a $1 million bottle of tequila, which will feature a diamond-encrusted platinum bottle, and it will be auctioned off next year.
All right, forget the 5-second rule. There is a new study on when it's really safe to eat food that you've dropped on the ground. Researchers say the texture of the fumbled food and the surface it lands on are what determine the amount of bacteria it picks up. So the cleanest surface is a kitchen floor, followed by a living room carpet, then a concrete step, and, believe it or not, a bathroom floor. And the dirtiest surface to drop food on is a lawn. Part of the dropped food study is published in next month's Men's Health magazine.
Live from Fox 12 Oregon, this is breaking news.
We're following some breaking news tonight about 2 young kids missing tonight in Clatsop County. Authorities are now searching a wooded area east of Astoria for the children who are under the age of 6. We are told that 3 kids originally went out to play about 10:30 this morning. One of those 3 came back about 4 hours later and said that the other 2 had not been seen. They were missing. We're working to get the latest information on this story, and we'll have that for you tonight on the 11 o'clock news.
For the Final Cut goes local as Google keeps track of what Portlanders are searching for online. If you type a word or a phrase into the Google Trends website, it'll show you the cities with the most searches for the topic. Well, Portland tops the list in at least 3 categories. You can see right there, Google Trends says the Portland area leads the world in searching for marijuana and meth, and it also leads the world in searches for jock itch. To find out if Portland tops the list in any other category, visit the website. We have a link for you, kptv.com. Tonight, there is some new technology to help stop thieves from stealing your laptop computer. It's a tiny motion sensor hidden inside the circuitry that tracks the computer's every move. But does it really work? Fox 12 takes a look at this new technology tomorrow on Good Day Oregon.
It's a popular website used to buy and sell unwanted things, but tonight police have a warning for you. Beware of robbers using Craigslist. KPTV's Deborah Gill is live in News Control with all the details.
Wayne, Craigslist is a very popular website, but police tell us tonight that robbers are posing as buyers and sellers and then holding up unsuspecting people who show up for a good deal. Many people are going online tonight to the Craigslist website.
Oh, yeah, quite often.
They're looking for everything from cars to clothes to dates.
But I've never had any problems so far.
But they are definitely not looking to become a victim.
No, ma'am.
People should be warned. In the past month, there have been 5 armed robberies of Craigslist users reported in the California Bay Area. In Boston, 2 men who responded to a car ad were robbed of their money. That scares local Craigslist users who've shopped for cars.
I know I used it to find a car, and it was like my first car, and if I had gone on there and they'd robbed me of my money that I'd saved since I was 14, I'd have been really upset.
And in May, a Vancouver man who answered a Craigslist ad thought he was meeting a woman here at Wintler Park for sex, but he was beaten and robbed. People we talked to tonight said they would never answer an ad alone.
I don't want to be alone. Like meeting a complete stranger off of the internet. That's a little weird.
The online bulletin board is no stranger to criminal activity. Police have arrested people for using the site to sell drugs, offer children for prostitution, and selling stolen property. But now a new warning from police that the site could be used to make you a victim.
Buyer beware. You've got to pay attention to what you're doing, always know where you're at, have somebody with you.
Police say to avoid being robbed, meet in a public place where other people are around. If something doesn't seem right, change your plans. And they say keep records of all correspondence to help if police actually do need to investigate. Now, police say there could be more victims who haven't reported being a victim. If you have any information, call police. Live in News Control tonight, Deborah Gill, the 10 o'clock news.
Hollywood is buzzing tonight about Nicole Richie's new project. The Simple Life star is following in the footsteps of her ex-best friend, Paris Hilton, and turns out she is releasing a pop album. Richie says she has already recorded 6 tracks. There is no word yet tonight if her famous dad, Lionel Richie, will help her out on any of the songs. Paris Hilton's album, meanwhile, hits stores next month.
Here's a question for you. Who will play the Joker in the next Batman movie? Well, the rumors have been flying. And the latest name in the mix is Brokeback Mountain star Heath Ledger. Reliable sources says that he's been officially offered the part, but he has not yet made a decision. Other names attached to the role have included Paul Bettany, Steve Buscemi, and also Robin Williams. Regardless of who ends up playing the Joker, that film will be out in theaters come 2008. The other star of Brokeback Mountain is up for a big role as well. Pictures of Jake Gyllenhaal hanging out with Lance Armstrong have been popping up all over the place lately. And there may be more to it than just friendship. Gyllenhaal is on the short list to actually play Armstrong in a bio movie about the cycling champion. The actor spent several days with Armstrong at this year's Tour de France, even riding along in race vehicles to try to get an up-close look at those riders.
Well, Lance Armstrong is continuing his cycling career by helping fight cancer. Fox 12 is proud to support the Live Strong Challenge presented by Nike on July 30th. You can walk, run, or ride to raise funds for the Lance Armstrong Foundation. The event features 10, 40, 70, and 100-mile rides, a 5K walk run, and a 10K run starting and ending at Portland Meadows. And our own Mark Nelson will be competing in that event. So if you'd like to register, just log on to our website, kptv.com. And that's tonight's Final Cut.
I'm Tim Becker. Coming up next in sports, prized recruit Kevin Love out of Lake Oswego is ready to announce his college choice. And Gresham's Freddie Jones leaving the Indiana Pacers. I'll tell you his next team.
And in tonight's HealthCast, a warning before you start that back-to-school shopping. See which toxin could be lurking in your little one's lunchbox.
You're watching the 10 o'clock news. First, live, local.
Senator Jeffrey Collins' wife vanished.
I can be there in 15 minutes.
Looks like a saint.
It's a prayer card.
What the hell's going on?
Vanished.
Do whatever it takes to get my wife back.
Dear Dr. Z, are Dodge trucks more than just Hemis? The new Dodge Ram has a new frame for improved ride and handling. And Dodge Durango has an electronic stability program, a technology we invented. What would you expect from the world's largest producer of commercial vehicles?
Cut! You forgot Hemi with fuel-saving MDS.
Sorry.
Actors. It's back. Employee pricing plus 0% financing. Get our employee price on most 2006 Dodge vehicles.
Oh, it was wonderful. They took such great care of us there. It was my daughter's birthday, and so we had a little party. They had me sit down in the circle, and I made my own bear, too, and I dressed it, and I washed it, so it was really nice. And they took care of us. They really made us special. I said, did you have a nice birthday? She said, I didn't have a nice birthday. I had a great birthday.
Build-A-Bear Workshop, where best friends are made.
So that was priceless right there.
Fox 12's On the Set with exclusive interviews from Chief Meteorologist Mark Nelson. Now you can log on to kptv.com anytime and watch.
Ellen, what do women really want?
Love. A shoulder to cry on. A soulmate.
I meant on our menu.
Oh, salad.
Try my new Acapulco chicken salad. It's made fresh daily with savory chicken, pepper jack cheese, blue corn tortilla chips, and a tasty cilantro lime dressing.
A 6-speed short-throw gearbox, a sport-tuned suspension. Start making summer memories fast. The Mercedes-Benz Summer Event. See your local authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for a great lease offer on a 2006 C230 sports sedan.
Get away with more summer escapes. It's easy. Watch more on Fox 12 Oregon at 9 a.m. for the word of the day. Then enter to win at kptv.com.
Welcome back. Will it be Tobacco Road or Tinseltown for Lake Oswego's Kevin Love? He'll answer that question at a news conference tomorrow. The top college prospect from Lake O had his college choices narrowed to UCLA and North Carolina and will announce the winner in Las Vegas, where he's playing in a tournament tomorrow. Popular thought has him leaning towards UCLA only because his future playing time there just grew when the school discovered top European prospect Marco Spica was recently denied enrollment there. Looks like former Oregon Duck and Barlow High star Freddie Jones will change uniforms. His agent says sometime in the next few days, Jones will sign a contract with the Toronto Raptors. Till now, he played all 4 seasons in the NBA with Indiana, averaging about 10 points a game. Well, the up again, down again Mariners are back on the upswing, picking up a 3rd straight win tonight. The last 2 came against Boston. Tonight it was Toronto, and Kenzie Jojima was the man. A 2-run single for the 2-0 lead in the second. Same inning, they get a little help from pitcher Casey Jansen. The wild pitch allowing Carl Everett to score. That made it 3-0, and it was 4-2 Seattle in the bottom of the fourth when Jojima strikes again. That is a 2-run homer, and it pushes them over the top on the way to a 7-3 win. And the Portland Beavers go to extra innings at Las Vegas before scoring 4 runs in the 11th for an 8-4 win. Tim Becker, Fox 12 Sports.
All right, coming up next on our HealthCast, could a leukemia drug developed in Portland have deadly side effects?
Also at the top of the 11 o'clock news, more on our breaking news about 2 kids missing right now in Clatsop County, aged 4 and 6. We'll have more at 11.
You're watching the 10 o'clock news. First, live, local.
This news segment is brought to you by Nissan.
Bold lines, rugged lines, spacious lines, award-winning lines, new lines. And now you get the bottom line during Nissan's national sales event. Like $1,000 cash back on the rugged and authentic Nissan Xterra. See your Nissan dealer. Offer ends July 31st. And that's the bottom line.
Dr. Robert Jarvik, inventor of the artificial heart.
The average heart beats 2 billion times. The heart is amazing, but high cholesterol can lead to heart disease. Lipitor can help. When diet and exercise aren't enough, adding Lipitor significantly lowers bad cholesterol, 39 to 60%. If you have several common risk factors for heart disease, Lipitor is clinically proven to reduce your risk of heart attack. And more cardiologists surveyed said they'd prescribe Lipitor for their own families than any other cholesterol-lowering brand. Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. You need simple blood tests to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor if you are taking other medications or if you have any muscle pain or weakness. They may be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. Lipitor is one of many treatment options to consider with your doctor. It's your heart. Ask if Lipitor is right for you.
Visit Lipitor.com for a free trial.
Thank you for making the 10 o'clock news
your #1 late night news in the city.
Only one station has the most watched morning and late night news in town. Fox 12 Oregon. First, live, local.
The deep sleep of a Sleep Number bed. It's a state somewhere between reverie and a spell. Science calls it REM sleep, but it's really enchantment. Almost 90% of people get more REM sleep using a Sleep Number bed, because each side adjusts to give you your own firmness level. So get a number, and then have yourself some enchanted evening. Where will your Sleep Number take you tonight? Find it at your local Select Comfort store.
Meet an overachiever that isn't afraid to have fun.
Chevy Cobalt.
It's got a solid powertrain warranty.
Outstanding fuel economy.
And more standard horsepower than Toyota Corolla and Honda Civic.
Chevy Cobalt. It's a great ride.
Come in and check out the fun-to-drive Chevy Cobalt Coupe LS today. Chevy Cobalt. Don't take our word for it. Compare at Edmunds.com. See your participating Northwest Chevy dealer or visit us online at shopforchevy.com.
Join the fun at Providence Bridge Pedal Sunday, August 13th. Register online at providence.org/bridgepedal. It's perfectly Portland.
In tonight's HealthCast, a pill that targets a deadly form of leukemia could cause serious heart damage.
New evidence shows Gleevec caused heart failure in 10 patients, but researchers say patients should not stop taking the drug since other drugs in the same class have also caused heart problems. Gleevec was developed at OHSU by Dr. Brian Drucker and his team of researchers.
The FDA is telling lunchbox makers to stop using lead in their products. Last year, investigators tested the vinyl linings of those soft-sided lunch bags and found that some contained lead. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says its tests show the lunch boxes are safe for kids to handle, but it didn't test whether the lead can transfer to the food that's packed inside of them. The FDA sent a letter to the lunchbox makers asking them to find another way to make the vinyl linings. Lead exposure, of course, can cause learning disabilities and behavioral problems.
Got 12 minutes and you have time for all the day's news plus your complete weather forecast.
Breaking news and the 11 o'clock news starts right now. First, the evacuation of Americans is nearly complete. Now, see how the U.S. government is working to help people still living in Lebanon. Live, as cops investigate a murder in Gladstone.
I don't think that people really realize what it can do to the people around you.
Tonight, why family members say meth may have played a role in her murder. And local, a bank robber is caught on camera. Now investigators need your help in finding him. 12 on 12, your complete look at news and weather starts right now.
Live from Fox 12 Oregon, this is Breaking News.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Wayne Garcia.
And I'm Shauna Parsons, and we are following breaking news tonight. Right now, dozens of people are searching a wooded area near Astoria for 2 missing kids.
3 boys went out to play around 10:30 this morning. 4 hours later, one of those boys came back, but the 2 others did not. Those boys that are missing are 4 and 6 years old.
With more on this breaking story, we turn to Chief Meteorologist Mark Nelson with a look at the temperatures outside where those little boys are missing tonight. Mark?
Yeah, luckily the weather conditions not a huge factor here. I will tell you there's nothing showing up on our radar up in the far northwest tip of the state. Now, out at Astoria at this hour, right about here, the winds are northwest at 12 miles per hour. It's overcast, 62 degrees. Of course, that's a chilly night in the woods. Not really life-threatening or hypothermic, but definitely a cool night out there. The good news, no strong winds headed in and no rain either.
Okay, this is a story we're going to continue to follow, and we'll have more for you tomorrow on Good Day Oregon.
Tonight, detectives are working around the clock to solve the murder of a 21-year-old woman in Gladstone.
Tonight, the family of Megan Cole says that meth may have played a role in that murder. KPTV's Stephanie Kralovich is live in Gladstone tonight with more on that. Steph?
Megan Cole was arrested on felony drug charges last month. On Friday night, her roommates found her body in this apartment complex in Gladstone. Tonight, we spoke with Megan Cole's brother. He believes his sister's murder may have had something to do with her involvement with meth.
It was like she had 2 sides to her life. I mean, just this amazing, caring one side, and then that darker side that we've been finding out about.
Zach Cole says he'll choose to remember the brighter side of his younger sister, Megan, the girl who loved horses and always put other people first.
She was really good to my mom. She would show up with presents and her food or, you know, random little things.
But Zach says during the past several months, he and his parents had noticed changes in Megan's appearance and mannerisms.
We found out that she had a
way back to a joyful and productive life. You might discover a way to get your old self back by participating in an investigational medication research study at Summit Research Network. If you qualify, all research-related care and study medication will be provided to you at no cost. You don't have to be alone. Call Summit Research Network at 503-228-CARE.
Come on, it's not going to get any greener.
Why? Oh. Okay. Here we go. Oh.
Lock the door. Lock the door.
Open your window! Oh, my God.
The Passat wagon, lowest ego emissions of any German-engineered vehicle.
Right now, get 0% financing on all 2006 Volkswagen models, excluding Rabbit and TDI models.